This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I have connected to the Power BI desktop. So let me extract some sample tables. Okay, so go back to recent sources and try to connect your SQL Server as a data source. Try to select some tables for your requirement. So we were discussing yesterday on gender-wise sales amount related details. So to do that, let me import some basic tables. Okay, dim customer, dim date, dim geography, dim product category, dim product subcategory, and let me take one fact internet sales table. Okay, click on load. Okay, so successfully you have loaded seven different tables. Okay, so now let me take any sample visualization. So I have taken a sample visualization called as stacked column chart. Okay, so there is a template. There is a template under visualization. So I have selected the template. So yesterday we were discussing about visualization. I mean any report creation or a kind of visualization. When you want to create any report or any visualization, there are two things is important. So what is your going to be your x-axis value? What is going to be your y-axis value? Okay, suppose uh, I have something on x-axis. So gender-wise, I need to extract the sales amount report. How to achieve this? Okay, so in gender, we have males are there, we have females are there. I want to understand the sales amount value on, I mean, what is the sales amount for males? What is the total sales amount for females? Basically, the purpose of doing this to understand who are getting actually more pay or more sales amount. That I just want to understand here. So for that, in the x-axis, I'm going to consider G, that means gender. The y-axis I'm going to consider as a sales amount value. Okay. So to implement that, yesterday we did something like we have two methods. Either you know that the gender column is present in dim customer table. You can expand the table. You will go to that particular column of the table and you will try to track it. Otherwise, what is the other alternative method? Simply you are going to search the column name. So since it is a gender column, so the moment you type gender, so you'll be able to see that particular column which is present in under dim customer table. So select this particular column, drag and drop under Excel. So now your sales amount values. Now you want to sales amount values, but this column is present under which table? Sales amount table. So we're going to drag and drop under y-axis. That means value. Y-axis means value. So this is how we have created yesterday. Suppose let me do some kind of basic formatting. So remember one thing, any kind of formatting related thing, you have to come format and you have to do here. Okay, so come to the format options. So there, suppose I want to increase the size of the title. I can simply go and click here. I can increase, I can put it in the middle, and if you want, I can change the color of the visual. Okay, I can change the color of the visual. Suppose when I mouse over, then only I'm able to see the sales amount values for female, sales amount values for male. But my requirement is, so automatically the values has to be displayed on the screens on the report. So to do that, we need to click on, or we need to enable the data label option. So the moment if you enable the data label option, you will be able to see the sales amount value rounded. So try to increase the size, just trying to increase the size of the sales amount value. Yes, I'm able to see some sales amount value. Now, if you want to give some proper coloring for that, it's up to you. Okay, but whatever the result that you're able to see is a rounding value. But you don't want any kind of rounding to be happen. You want the exact value. So to do that, there is a option called display units. Under display unit, by default, it is in the auto mode. That means automatically it will round the value. So you have to convert this from auto mode to none. Okay. The moment you click on none, so you'll be able to see the exact value on the report. Okay. So this kind of changes generally you can perform. Okay. Now, if you see, suppose you want to increase the size of the x-axis so that we'll be able to see it properly. See, I'm just trying to increase the size. See, gender. Okay. So like that, you can increase x-axis values and y-axis values, something like that. So is this clear till now? So whatever we have created and whatever the result that we are able to see on the report, whether the result displayed on the screen is correct or not. To validate this kind of technique is called as, concept called as your software testing report. Okay. So we are going to validate this. How are we going to validate this? So since my data source for this particular report is SQL Server, obviously I'll have to connect to SQL Server database first. Just trying to open SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio is a tool to connect your SQL Server database. Give me a minute, it's loading. So this is SQL Server Management Studio. Through SQL Server Management Studio, I'm just trying to connect to the SQL Server as a database. Yes, I have successfully connected. So under databases, I'm going to connect to Adventureverse DW 2017. Click on New Query. Yes. So as I told you, I have say I have two tables involved in this because gender column is coming from same customer table. Okay, then there is a fact internet sales table is there. So your sales amount values are coming from fact internet sales table. We are going to join these two tables based on customer key. Based on customer key. So why do we need a join to be implemented? What is a join? When we go for a join, all these concepts we are going to, I'm going to explain you maybe in another 1 or 2 days. Okay. So today I will start even DB basics also. During that time, I will try to explain you. Okay. and I'm just writing a query. See, I'm just trying to select from customer table. I want to select the gender column, okay, and I want sum of sales amount value which present in fact internet sales table, and I'm grouping based on the gender column. So okay, the code is ready. So once you're executing this, select from sum of f dot. Yes. See, whatever the result you are able to see is a total sales amount values for different categories. Like is within the gender. So this is a total underscore sales underscore amount. Execute. Okay. So for female, you'll be able to see some $4 million, or sorry, $14 million. For male, you'll be able to see $14 million, $14.54 million. So whatever the result that you're able to see is valid as correct or not, we are going to see here. Suppose till this point, is this clear?
Yes,
Surya,
sir.
yeah, Raju, are you clear?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So yeah, suppose I have a small requirement saying, mm, let me open my dim customer table. So if I want to see the data, you have to all the way come here and click on the data and select the table which you want to see. Okay. So right now I want to see dim customer table. Okay. Dim customer table. In this, I'm able to see marital status column. I'm able to see gender column. I'm able to see yearly income column. So three columns are present in single table. Okay. Suppose if I say I want to understand gender-wise yearly income, I want to understand and analyze the report. So obviously, what kind of results that I'm expecting? Say obviously, when I say gender, either you can have male and female. So for male, some result. For female, some result. Okay. So quickly, I will try to implement this. Okay. Same kind of logic. Instead of see this time, I'm going in a shortcut method. See, if I simply click on new pages, all the formatting I have to do is from the first to last till last. Okay, so that means I have to select the template. I have to select the x-axis values. I have to select the y-axis values. I need to do the formattings. I need to increase the size of the data. I have to enable the data labels. All the things I have to do. But instead of doing all the things, definitely it will take some time. So to avoid that particular situation, instead of creating like this as a new page, what I'll try to do, I will try to duplicate the page. The moment I duplicate the page, whatever the settings which is available under the page one is going to be reflected in the page two. Okay, the same settings are going to be reflected in the page two. Okay, so now simply you are going to change the criteria. Earlierly, your criteria is to understand the sales amount values, but now your criteria is to understand the yearly income value. But if you see gender and yearly income, both are coming from the single table. So that is same customer table. So here I don't want sales amount values. I want yearly income. I want yearly income column. I'm going to select this particular yearly income column and I'm going to drag and drop under value. So this is the yearly income of a customer. The males you'll be having say $5.35 million. For females you'll be having 5.23 million. Okay, so this is the same criteria which we implemented for this. But added to the new criteria, suppose to validate this query, how are we going to write? I'm simply copy pasting this same query I'm simply copy pasting the same query. Okay, but this time I don't want sales amount. I want C dot yearly income column. Okay, yes, C dot yearly income column. And for this particular scenario, I don't need one other table. So when I don't need another table, I don't need even join condition also. I will explain you in detail in the basic SQL how are we actually writing this group by class, and when we are trying to add multiple tables, what are the mandatory things that we need to follow, how to join, what is the join criteria, when do we actually go for a join, all these things I will explain you in the basic SQL class. But for now, I'm just trying to validate it. So for female, I'm able to see 523,996,000. 523,96000. So that means whatever the values that I'm able to see in the back end are 100% matching to the values I'm able to see on the report. Now, just add on to this criteria. Again, here, if you see, we have marital status column also is there. So wherein, suppose I want to see, marital status wise columns also. Okay. So how to implement that? Okay. But that actually needs some basic SQL knowledge. I will explain the basic SQL knowledge. But before that, see, go to this. As I told you, your Power BI desktop has two panes. One is Power BI Designer. The second one is Power Query Editor, or you can call this as a Edit Query Builder. Okay. So if you simply go and click Edit Queries, this is your Edit Power Query Editor. This is your Power Query Editor. Now, I want to perform some group by condition. I want to perform some group by condition. I will explain you what is a group by, but before that, I want to explain something about you. So, so now you understood the concept of how to create, how to generate, or how to design a report. Now, to validate the result, whether the result is correct or not, we are going to validate this by writing some select statement. Okay, but one should have basic SQL knowledge. Okay, so if you're talking about that, so we have something like data sublanguage. We have something like data sub. Okay, we have something like data sublanguages. Under data sublanguages, we have total 5 different types are there. So one is DTL. Second one is DML. Third one is DML, DCL, DRL, or DQL. Fourth one is TCL. Finally, we have DCL. Okay, DDL, DML. We have total 5 different categories are there. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, what do you mean by DDL? Okay. Say, if you see this, what do you mean by DDL? So, first is DDL. DDL stands for data definition language. DDL stands for data definition language. Second, DML. So DML stands for data manipulation. Third one is DRL or DQL. Stands for data retrieval or query language. Fourth one is fourth one is TCL. Stands for transaction control language. Okay, transaction control language. Okay, what about the fifth one? So fifth one is DCL. DCL stands for data control language. Fifth is called as here DCL. DCL stands for data control language. Okay, so that's about all data sublanguage. DDL, DML, DRL or DQL, DCL, and DCL. So DDL stands for data definition language. DML stands for data manipulation language. DRL or DQL stands for data query or retrieval language. TCL stands for transactional control language. So these are the sublanguages of data. So data sublanguage. So if you categorize the data sublanguages, so it is got categorized in this kind of this many different sublanguages. So again under DDL, we have something like again under DDL, we have something like create, create, alter, drop, rename, and truncate. Okay. So again, DDL is going to be categorized internally as five different steps. Okay. Create, alter, drop, rename, truncate. Again in this, you have separate categorization called four different categorization called add, modify, rename, drop. So this is something again the internal categorization of your alter. In alter again it got categorized as add, modify, rename, and drop. We'll see each and everything what is what. Okay, so that's about DDL, data definition language. Okay, when you're coming to when you're coming to DML, we have internally insert, update, and delete. Insert, update, and delete. These are the internal categorizations for your DML, since it is having some space constraints. And okay, so this is how the DML internal categorization. So what about DRL or DQL? So generally you will be able to write some you will be able to see select keywords, right? So whatever the select keyword is there, this is called as your data query or data retrieval language. You will be able to find only one single option here. So this is a part of DRL or DQL. Okay. Now next is we have TCL. I will explain. We are going to spend on each and every command with some proper example. Okay, if time permits today, or we are going to complete by tomorrow. Okay, right. Now again in TCL we have internally we have two commands. Okay, internally we have two commands saying the first one is say it is commit, say rollback, commit or okay, commit or rollback. This is the internal categorization of your TCL statements. Yes. Finally, DCL. In DCL, we have again two internal categorizations. So those are, one is grant, the second one is revoke. The one is grant and the second one is revoke. Right. This is something about your overall data sublanguages concept. See, if you learn all these concepts, so your most of your SQL will deals with this one. Okay, so DDL, I mean data sublanguages have five different steps. Okay, DDL, DML, DRL, DQL, TCL, and DCL. So first we'll talk about DDL. So DDL stands for data definition language. So in DDL, see, everyone know generally in any organization or in the any project how the data is going to be maintained. The data is going to be maintained in the form of rows and columns. Again, in the form of tables. So if you go and see here, when I say select star from dim customer table, I'll be able to see all customer related data in the form of rows and columns. The form of rows and columns. So that means the projects, in the real-time projects or in the projects or in the organization, people generally try to store the data in the form of tables, again in the form of rows and columns. So row means this complete row. Okay, so the row, when I say row, means it's a complete row. When I say column, it is single column. This is one column, this is another column, so this is another title, first name. So these are all the different columns. This is a row. Okay, now what is DDLC generally? I mean, you aware of, suppose I want to create a small table. So what I will do directly to create a table, say test. Okay, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. I'm going to give the three columns, say EMP number, say integer, comma ename, say varchar of say 20, comma location, say varchar of 20. Have given. So if I execute this table, test 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Any name I can give, but I have given that. See, I have created a table. So this is a table that I have created. If you say select the star from that particular table, obviously I'll be able to see the table complete structure. So since I have created the table just now, I'll not, the structure is created, but the data I'm not able to see because just now you have created, you haven't inserted any data here in this particular table. So whatever this kind of activities, so just now I have performed the activity of create. So what exactly it is doing? It is creating a new object in the database. It is creating a new object in the database. That means creating a new object or table. So do you think this is which kind of change? This is a this is a structure oriented changes. So that means to summarize DDL, any structure oriented changes if you want to perform, you are going to perform in the DDL. So DDL stands for data definition language. Any data definition language is basically going to used for any structure oriented changes. When I say structure oriented changes, it can be creating of a new object, it can be altering an existing object, it can be dropping an existing object, it can be renaming an existing object, it can be truncating an existing object. So overall, if you see, data definition language always deals with the structure oriented changes. So guys, are you clear? Surya, Raju, Rupa,
Yes, sir.
any questions till now?
No, sir.
Okay. What about Raju? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. That's about this thing. So when I say DDL, data definition language, so all structure-oriented changes are going to be captured under data definition language. So when I say structure-oriented changes, what are the different types of changes that we can actually do, or what are the different kind of changes that you can do in any database? Okay, so when you say DDL, see, this sublanguages, data sublanguages is common for almost all the databases. Okay, see, right now in the market, you're able to see the moment I say database, the moment I say database, you'll be able to see Microsoft SQL Server. Also, you'll be able to see Oracle. Also, you'll be able to see something like MySQL, Sybase. Okay, so different databases that you're able to see in the market. Okay, different things that you're able to see in the market. But you need to understand what is the difference between Microsoft SQL Server database and Oracle database, and what all these tools are there. All these are databases which is available in the market. So basically, what are we going to call this as? So these are all the RDBMS packages. Whatever the databases that are available in the market are going to be called as a RDBMS packages. What do you mean by RDBMS packages? RDBMS packages means relational database management system package. What is relational database management system? What is database management system? What is actually data? Okay, what is metadata? Then what is your DBMS, which stands for database management system. Okay, so then again, what is RDBMS? When I say RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. So all these questions, you need to understand all these concepts. Okay. So I mean, I think today it is not possible to explain all these things, but tomorrow I will explain. But try to understand the difference. See, you're in the market, you're able to see Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, Sybase, so many databases are there. So first, let us consider two databases. Say Microsoft SQL Server is there. Generally, we call whatever the code that we are going to write in this, that is called as a T-SQL code. Okay. So in Oracle, you'll be able to see some code like SQL, PLSQL. So what is the difference between these two databases? See, both are the difference is both are RDBMS packages. Both databases are RDBMS packages. What is the difference between one database to another database? The difference is Microsoft SQL Server is a database which has been created by an organization called Microsoft with the help of RDBMS concept. With the help of RDBMS concept. And they have renamed the database to Microsoft as Microsoft SQL Server. So likewise, Oracle Corporation is a company which they have developed a database with the help of RDBMS concepts, and they have renamed their product to Oracle. If you see any database, all these databases are RDBMS packages. That means by making use of the RDBMS concepts, they have created their own database and they have renamed it to their own names. Oracle has created a database, they have renamed it to Oracle. But while creating, what kind of core concept they have used? They have used the core concept called RDBMS. After that, Microsoft has developed their own database and they have renamed their database to Microsoft SQL Server. But again, with the help of RDBMS concept only. That is the only difference. So finally, for any database, your RDBMS concepts are same, right? You will be expecting some kind of structural changes in terms of syntax. There will be very minimal syntax changes. You will be able to find the difference. But rest of the things, everything is going to be same. Same joint concept, same table creations, order indexes, everything is going to be almost similar in the database. Okay, so guys, are you clear? Surya, Rupa, Raju, any questions?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Okay, so Raju, Rupa. Okay. Okay. Now, we were talking about the data sub languages. Come back to the again data sub language architecture. So DL stands for data definition language. See, when I say RDBMS package, whatever you are able to see the data sub languages, all are almost similar to any of the database. No matter it is a Oracle, no matter it is a SQL Server database or any database, the concepts are almost similar because whatever you are able to discuss is a RDBMS concept. That means the concepts are similar, but the companies are different. So this that's why they have given a different name. Suppose I have created my own database, definitely I'll be able to rename the product name as this, whatever the name that I want, whatever the name that I wish. I'll try to keep that, right? So like that. So when I say data definition language, all structure oriented changes. So what do you mean by structure oriented changes? So structure. So when I say structure, all the data is going to be present under DB as a object. When I say object, it's a table. So again, in the table as a rows and columns, it is going to be stored. So when it is structure oriented changes, it can be creating a new table. It can be altering an existing table. When I say alter again, internally we have four different things. It can be adding new columns, or modifying an existing column, or renaming the column name, or dropping the unwanted column. All this comes under alter. Okay, and after that you'll be able to see drop, rename, truncated. So if you see all these things, are almost a changes which is particular to structure. So that's why your DDL stands for data definition language. In data definition language, all structure oriented changes are going to be covered and are going to be managed under data sublanguage and data definition language. So guys, are you clear with the data definition language now? Surya, Baju, Rupa?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so actually